Right, so it's a new car in the trade series, and if you're new here, we've been trading from a Mini to a Supercar. Well, there's no one there yet, but we're trying. 14 years ago, I had the chance to drive a Supercar. Now I have the crazy idea of trying to own one. So I started a trade series and hoped that it would be the answer to my dreams. We've pulled cars out of gardens and flipped accident damaged salvage along the way, but this trade might be the hardest yet. This is another link in the chain, and there's a reason why we've got this one. So this car was recovered here by a friend of mine who got it recovered by the AA, so it broke down, and we've since purchased it from him, thinking that the timing chain has snapped, but we don't know any further damage and we don't know how much it's going to cost or anything, and I've just took a gamble. So we've bought it, which I'll reveal the figures at the end as I always do, but we've bought it and we've took the gamble. It's been sitting here for a few weeks, but now it's time for it, well, to find out what's wrong with it and hopefully fix it in the garage. So one thing we done first was I took the oil cap off and we cranked the engine, and we can't see the crankshaft turning. So that's obviously, there's an issue there, and we think the timing chain snapped. This has got the N47 engine in it, the BMW engine, which is common for timing chain issues. So we're hoping, and I've never done one before and neither's Darren, but we're hoping that we can save it. It is a relatively new car, 15 plate with 72,000 miles in it, so I'm hoping there's a good little bit of profit in this. But let's get the bonnet up and see if it's savable.
Again! Oh, bro, where's the chain? Charlie, there's no chain.
Where should the chain be?
On there. There's no timing chain. It's Bluetooth. Chain's left the chat. Oh man.
Show us.
So we're cracked here, snapped, and we've got broken lifters and rockers down there.
This is now the front of the car. We have removed the engine, which is sitting behind me, so that we can do the timing chain, strip it down and get a look and see what's actually going on in there. Wasn't too big a deal to remove the engine. A couple of hours labour, myself and Dan. Now I'm going to strip the engine down as much as possible, and then Dan's going to tie back in with us again, because he's the master of lapping in valves. That's if it's not smashed a piston. We don't even know that yet. All we know is the chain is snapped and it's bent the valve and broke the rockers and the cam box that you guys have just seen. So the next thing is we need to strip this engine down and see what the damage is. I've ordered a whole host of parts, so I'm praying that there is no more further damage and we can rebuild this and fire it up before the end of the episode.
Did that again?
No. O Father, who art in heaven, may thy pistons be whole. You can see a huge imprint there and an imprint there of where the valves have kissed. You see that, Michelle?
Yeah.
You see that half moon shape?
Yeah.
That's where the valves have kissed. But to be fair, pistons look whole. There is some flaky, but I'm assuming that's carbon build-up. Look at the height of this valve spring and this valve spring. It would suggest that this valve is bent because it's compressed. So obviously it's not allowing it to come back out. So we have ordered 16 valves, valve stem seals, chain kit, gaskets kit, everything you can think of really. Head gaskets and everything obviously. Right, so I think it's savable. What we're actually going to need to do is rebuild the head first, put the head back on, then we're going to have to lift it up, strip the sump and the timing cover off so that we can replace the chains, then rebuild the sump and everything. So we actually need to rebuild the head first and reattach the head with the cams etc. so that we can then replace the chains in that order. So hopefully there's no real catastrophic damage. We know the crank and everything turns, the pistons look whole, so now it's over to Darren.
Now the head's built back up, it's time to remove the clutch, flywheel, sump and timing cover to replace the chains. One of the timing tools I bought doesn't fit, so I've marked the timing case and the flywheel to check our timing. Once built back up, the car's ready to receive the engine again.
He's eating a bueno. He's done all day. Just record me working and never mind that.
We're happy with progress and things are moving fast, so I'm relaxed and I'm up to my usual tricks of winding Darren and Michelle up. And just like that, the engine is whole again. There's only fluids to add before we can start the car. First it's gearbox fluid before I forget, and then the engine oil. One mistake I did make when removing the engine was not noticing the sensor on the gearbox, which broke the wires on the way off, so there's a repair to be made before fitting the front end of the car, along with the new air filter to fit.
It's been a challenging day. There's a couple of things happened on the Mini that weren't supposed to happen. A couple of wire repairs, just a couple of things that should have went on easy, like V-band clamps on the turbo was a nightmare. Couldn't get the right one, had to fabricate the old one back to a compatible state. The V-band clamps and the exhaust, there's just been things that have taken 40 minutes each when they should have taken 2 minutes. We think we've got everything where it needs to be. We've got all the fluids in apart from coolant right now, but it's time to crank it. I've left the injectors off because we're trying to get oil pressure first and get oil up around to the turbo and stuff before we put any stress on the engine. Hopefully, just hopefully it eventually starts. We're going to do 3 10-second cycles to get our oil pressure built up a bit, and then we're going to try and fire it up. And when we do that, we're only going to run it temporary until we get the coolant and everything else on. But at this stage, in case we've done something wrong and the engine needs to come back out, it's best to try and fire it right now.
something leaking, there's something leaking.
Where's Fader?
Fuel.
Bad?
It turned out to be worse than we thought.
So just an update on the Mini. There was a leak on the floor, Michelle was correct, and it's coming from the high pressure fuel pump. Now, something that I've not done every single nut and bolt rebuild on this for you, I have, but I haven't shown it to you guys. There was an issue when we were trying to get the high pressure fuel pump timing gear off to replace the chain. One or two things has happened here. Either it was seized solid, or when we've went to use the special tool, we've used it incorrectly. We did try, and to finish up we had to use the alternate method, which was to basically hit it from this side out with a hammer. Obviously there's risk involved in that, and I don't know, and it took a big hit to get it to come off, to be honest. I don't know if when we've done that we've damaged the internals of the high pressure fuel pump, or indeed it's not now seating correctly, or we've nicked the O-ring or something. So high pressure fuel pump's going to need to come out. Luckily I've seen a video, because to do it technically the timing casing and everything needs to come off, which means the engine needs to come back out. Obviously don't want to do that, so I think we can use that said tool again, lock it in place from this side, and then leave the bolt in place, and that will hold the gear for the fuel pump in place, and we can slip the high pressure fuel pump out, because the book time to do this job is only 2.5 hours, so that's not engine out. So we're just going to have to try. So I've got a second hand fuel pump on the way. We're going to try and replace it, and then hopefully we can get this thing started. Right, what I've done is we've fitted a new pump, and while I've been waiting on Darren coming, I've replaced the coil spring on the car because it needed done. So that just killed a little bit of time for me and one less job to do. Now I'm going to show you what the issue is with the high pressure pump. So this is a high pressure pump that came off, and as you can see there, it's cracked. We've completely split it, and that's because when the high pressure pump is fitted down in there like this, the tool goes down and is supposed to draw the pump away. Now we couldn't get it to work properly, so we had to put the bolt in there and hit it with a hammer, and it took quite a blow to get it out. So in doing that, we've cracked the high pressure fuel pump, which is why we had a major leak. Now we're back, built up, ready to go. I'm going to crank it, Darren's going to watch, he's going to be in charge of the phone, and let's pray that this starts. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the engine.
What's it, your boat just knowing that? That? You look nervous.
So I've picked the worst time imaginable to end this video. It's absolute pouring down. I've got a hood, but the camera lady Michelle doesn't, and someone's just pulled into the car park, which makes it even worse. So I'm just quickly going to end this episode. But the Mini Paceman SD, all four, it's been a really good car to get complete. Now these trade deals kind of keep falling on my lap. These are cars that I'm not even going out there and purchasing. They're kind of finding their way to me. So it's good to get another car in the series complete. If you're new here, we're trading from a Mini, which started with a Mini 1, to a Supercar, and this is just another link in the chain. I think I've got it mapped out in my head now, or mapped out on paper, the last few links to get us to the Supercar, so it shouldn't be much longer. Let me know what you guys prefer. Do you prefer these kind of mechanical repairs, or do you prefer the restoration videos, or do you prefer the crash damage videos? Let me know in the comments. And now to the value. I paid £1,000 for this car, delivered to the workshop because that's where it was recovered to. I've spent almost another £1,000 on it, between the head gasket, the 16 valves, the timing chain kit. I reimbursed Darren for his fuel and all that kind of stuff, so I'm round about an even 1,000 back into it. Now, I've ran this through Motorway, I've ran it through a local We Buy Any Car type thing, and I've ran it through Auto Trader, and the price differs a little bit. The local buyer was offering 3,000, Motorway is offering round about 4,000, but Auto Trader is saying that if I sell this car privately, they would recommend that I list it for around £5,000. You guys can let me know in the comments, but either way, I think the £3,000 offer's too low. I'd be looking between the 4 and the 5. Even somewhere around the 4 would be decent, and that leaves me a little bit of profit in this car, and then we can just go on to the next one. I'm going to wrap it out now because we're just getting soaked, so thanks very much for watching this video, and we'll see you guys on the next trade video.